Welcome to Straight Talk. Welcome to Straight Talk. Welcome to Straight Talk. African President of the United States of America, President Barack Obama.
Good to see you. I just want to say everybody back home, right back at you. We appreciate you. You're always getting straight talk.
We're just trying to serve the Lord and really trying to meet our budgets.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. Pastor said he's trying to meet his budget. So you got a donation for the church of what?
Gifts from God Ministry Church.
History of God Ministry Church.
Gifts from God Ministry.
Gifts from God Ministry Church.
1818 West 74th Street.
Go by and show him that you appreciate the fact that he is serving our God.
Amen.
Now, this is Pastor
St. John Chisum.
St. John Chisum.
Amen.
See, I want you to hear that name come out of his mouth. You see how it sounds? Say it once more.
St. John Chisum. And
Sorry.
I was ordained by Pastor Tilbury. He gave me that. He anointed me.
Tilbury?
That's my pastor.
He's a good friend of mine.
Amen.
Yeah, he's a good friend. But anyway, we want to talk about some of the things that are happening in Chicago.
Yes.
That we, who are in the ministry, and who are within the context of what we're looking for, maybe we can change some of those things if the churches come together.
Amen.
If all the churches come together, we could change this city.
Amen. I believe that.
You know, at one point during our lifetime here in the city of Chicago, we had an organization called the Straight Talk Economic Roundtable. That was about 29 years ago it started. You familiar with it?
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. And we had churches involved, you know, pastors involved, because we wanted the pastors to spread the news to the audience that we are our own worst enemy.
Okay.
We are our own worst enemy. I was called down to the Labor Department because one of my employees claimed he wasn't paid. They wanted to know why. I said, "What's his name?" She told me his name. I said, "Because I fired him and his payday didn't come around. He didn't do his job, so I fired him."
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't going to fire him and then give him the grace of giving him the money before payday.
Right.
All the employees would need some money right quick. They may want to get fired and get paid, and come back and beg for the job later.
Okay. Right.
But so I had that little talk with him, and he at the time showed me. He said, "Well, I know." He said, "We look at your company up. You got quite a few employees." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, why are your people so unemployed and so much need?" I said, "Because I can't hire them all myself."
Right.
And I said, "You're not giving enough jobs to our people." He said, "Let me show you." So he went into the cabinet and pulled out a big book, found the city of Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and started reading off the statistics. Black people in the city of Chicago are making and spending $50 billion a year.
Right.
And he said, "Don't you know every $1 billion creates 50,000 full employment jobs?"
Right. You know, that sounds like Dr. Webb Evans.
Oh, yeah.
He used to tell us that all the time.
Well, Webb was a part of the organization.
Amen.
He's one of my co-chairmen
Right.
of the organization, Straight Talk Economic Roundtable. I couldn't go to a church and preach without Webb sitting right in front of me
Praise the Lord.
at all times.
Well, you know, his organization is we're still carrying on. He's been going about 3 years now. United Black American Park Association.
Right.
Mr. Raheem Hussein Attan is
Raheem, yeah.
meeting on fourth Mondays.
But anyway, that organization started because of that conversation I had with that agent from the Labor Department.
Okay.
I said, "Listen, we are our own worst enemies."
Yeah.
I put a camera in front of 2 churches, and those 2 churches, one another ethnic and a black ethnic.
Mm-hmm.
This black ethnic walked by, the black people in the community walked by their black ethnic business all day, going to the other store.
Right.
So finally, I set up a camera in front of those two stores just to see how that happens.
Okay.
And I didn't, they didn't buy too much. They go and buy, a little bag or something, a little small bag or something, and come back out. If the store is too crowded, they would go to the black store,
Okay.
and they'd come out with a small bag. So finally one day, after about a week and a half of there watching this,
Mm-hmm.
this guy came out of the store I saw him come by, go into the store, and he came out with 2 big shopping bags full of food.
Okay.
And I called him, I said, hey, come over here for a second, sir. Can I see you? He said, oh, W.L. Lillard. He said, am I going to be on TV? I said, no, you're already on TV. You can tell me why you're on TV.
Okay. Okay.
So when I asked him those questions, I said, why'd you pass up that store and go to that store? He said, man, he ain't about nothing.
Yeah.
I said, but I've been in both stores. I've seen trucks pull up with the groceries. You would go in this store and that store, so I went in to make sure they were selling the same
Okay.
type of merchandise, and the prices were similar. I said, so what do you mean it ain't about? Man, he doesn't even live in the community. I don't care about that inn.
Mm.
I said, but these people don't live in the community.
Right.
I said, remember what I said. These people, they're employing their own people. They're bringing their own people,
Right.
relatives in to work for them. So they're not employing you. They're taking your money, but they're not employing you.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, I said, well, see, that's why I was asking you, why didn't you go? Man, I keep telling you, he ain't about nothing. He doesn't even live in the community. I said, well, these people don't live in the community. I just told you, he don't live in the community. I don't care about them. I don't want my own people doing it to me. I've been scratching my head ever since, trying to figure out what the heck did he mean by that.
Well, I mean, W.L., we don't want to deal with it, but, Willie Lynch was real and still is real. I mean, his perspective on keeping black people working against each other, it's part of what we have to overcome.
But have you considered the fact that it's part of the indoctrination, telling us that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
We weren't here to see that. We don't know anything about it. So how did it get so embedded in us?
Well,
It's not embedded in me because I know about it.
Right.
I've read about it. I've heard about it. So
Right.
it's not embedded in me. It's not embedded in you.
right.
What's wrong with the other people?
Uh,
See, we got to stop that indoctrination. It's
Right.
just like food. They're selling us hogs and cows and chicken and fish, and that's dead. You got to kill that stuff to eat it. So how can you sustain life with death? The Bible tells you the fruit of the tree bearing seed
right.
shall be meat for you. Well, God said you can eat meat. I say, yeah, the meat of an apple, the meat of an orange, the meat of cabbage and beans, not the meat of flesh. Man, I don't know what you're talking about. I got to have me some pork chops.
Well, W.L., I received this recently, and it's a reality. There are different strokes for different folks,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to continue to give them a chance to make good choices. But invariably, people are going to decide to do what they want to do for themselves. I mean, that's the essence of God. Gave us choice.
Right. Right.
And so.
But you've preached funerals long enough to know, and had friends who are members of your church
Right.
lay up in the hospital, and you could just see them making up their mind to die.
Yeah.
God is within you, as you know, and God leads you and guides you in the right direction
Right.
if you follow.
Right.
But who follows? Man, God is in heaven.
Yeah.
Okay, God is all over the world.
Everything you see is God. It's
Right.
positive.
Right, exactly. So how you gonna, you think that there's a one man flying around up in the air looking down on you? Anyway, it's just hard to get those indoctrinations out of the people.
Yeah.
And they'll study dying from eating meat and from going to doctors and being, told that you have this disease or this condition that you have to have an operation for. They make money on sick people and on your problems. So what incentive do they have not to, do a $10,000 or $20,000 operation, and he can get that from the insurance company.
Well, we have to make choices that are in our best interest, and that's bottom line. So we give them opportunity. You got to give them information, so they can at least have information to make an informed decision. Then after that, it's on them. And so it also says, "Be not weary in well doing," because we got to don't let it stop you from doing what the Lord have you to do. Even the Lord gave me this. I cannot let what they do or don't do stop me from doing what the Lord gives me to do. I cannot let what they do or don't do stop me from doing what the Lord gives me to do. That way I can keep on going.
The God's Ministry Church started around the same time we did with the Straight Talk Economic Roundtable.
Okay.
And January 19th, 1992.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what month, but it was 1992 when I was called on, and we started that organization.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, it's a lot of synergy here through our Hope and our Center and Help Center.
Yes.
Our Hope and Health Center has established the following programs and activities. You want to tell us about those?
Well, WO, as you mentioned, we've been ministering for 28 years.
Mm-hmm.
We started off at Operation Push in the Clay Evans Chapel. We moved from there to 1414 West 63rd Street. Moved from there to 953 West 63rd Street. And now we're at 1818 West 74th Street. And our church was organized really first and foremost to bring family and friends together, to look at how we can learn about the Lord, to increase our situations as, spiritual beings. And we have an essence of what we call ourselves a Hope and Help Center. Hope comes from the Word of God. Help comes from social service, human services, resources that we bring into the church to give people, support in areas that they need support.
Right.
So one of our major concerns is partnerships. We work with CPS, CAPS, Pastors of Inglewood, World Vision. Our desire is to get resources into the church. Right now we're blessed to have our food pantry sponsored by Derek Rose and his family every Thursday at 9:30. We have a church service from 9:30 to 10:30, and then at 11 o'clock we serve a food pantry to the community residents.
And you even deal with Cub Scouts.
Guiding
them along.
Yeah, my beloved brother-in-law, President Tony Day, was a scout master par excellence, and he brought it to our church. He passed away a year ago, and so we're working at reinstituting that. But we believe in Cub Scouts, and we believe that those are foundationary traits that can help our youth survive and thrive.
Have something positive to do on a daily basis. That's great. That's great. So many. I think all of our churches should take that stance. But in different neighborhoods,
Well, today, for the first time, we're getting a chance to expose, Chicago and the world to this project. The Lord gave me this, that we should develop a Inglewood Peace Youth and Community Center. And so we're working, very diligently to, put a perspective together. We've already done the drawings and, we've designed it. Now we're looking to generate some, philanthropic donors, government resources to really build, the youth center. And so we're here to, let the world know that it's God-ordained idea, as you mentioned, to serve the community. Inglewood, there is a need for violence abatement, bringing youth into a place that they feel comfortable and safe, and then be trained up in the things that will allow them to have an alternative, to what the streets offers them.
They need that alternative. They need that alternative desperately.
Yeah.
In fact, people were talking about Rauner.
Yeah.
Rauner was all set to give us a grant to convert this building into a training center for the children in the community. Kids, I think that would bring down a lot of violence in the Roseland area.
Yeah.
Give them something positive. You can be a star, movie star.
Right.
You can be a whatever you want to be.
Right.
Because we're going to teach acting. We're going to teach we were going to teach the operations of the cameras and how you get on live TV, you know, the whole gamut. And I think that would have been a great thing for the community, but the community was so set about this man being so racist, you got to get him out of here and blah, blah, blah. Watch what the man do, not what you think come out of your mouth, what you're hearing from a bunch of other people who call themselves Democrats. I'm a Democrat,
Right.
but I vote for the person. I don't vote for the party. Because the party, see, this is what we should do, this is what we should do. Let me look at that person. Let me talk to that person. Let me find out what that person is about. If I find out he's not about anything, he's going to get my vote as a Republican.
Right.
And if that Republican is not doing the right thing, I'm going to find an independent to put my vote out. I'm not going to throw my vote. I'm not just not going to vote. I'm going to vote some kind of way.
Well, I was talking to Tony. For us, I think accountability is a major concern. We got to hold people accountable.
Accountable?
You know, they can't just take us for granted, you know, and without
they've done
meeting
that
a
already.
standard.
They've done all
They
that.
qualify.
Yes, they've
I
done
know,
that
but-
already.
But we got to teach our, you know, our brothers and sisters, you know, that we cannot accept people taking us for granted, and we still support them because, as an example, we have all these stores in our communities that are not run by us, owned by us, but we go in.
That's right.
So that's more on us than it is on them.
Well, see, that wouldn't bother me. That wouldn't bother me. If we had stores in the community that we would shop with.
Yeah.
See, the reason these people can put up stores in the community and make some money is because our people won't shop with our people.
Huh?
Our people will not shop with our people. That's the part. I don't blame that man for bringing the store. He said, hey, they're not shopping with each other. Let me put my store in. Let them shop with me. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel that if we had more opportunities for blacks to support blacks, that we could find a way to increase
Oh, yes.
support.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But you know what? The one thing that stops that is a uninformed business person.
Yeah.
He should be working for somebody instead of opening a business because he doesn't know what he's doing
Right.
about to open a business. When you open a business, you become the leader of an area,
Right.
a certain area where the people are shopping with you and trading with you. Be there for them if they have a concern, a political concern that they can't handle. The Constitution tells you that you're the boss. It said the company, the town, the state, is ran by the people.
Right.
The people that they put into office are their servants. Now, how do we get that all turned around that they are our leaders?
Yeah.
They don't do that on the north side or no other place, but in our community, who we've anointed that alderman that they hired. I mean, they chose him to run because he's going to do what they tell him to do, and these people are not going to do anything about it because they think he's their leader.
Well, you know, what we want to do is have a place where all those type of concerns, training, community meetings, people can come into this place and get the type of information they need to improve their quality of life. And so, you know, it's a peace first and foremost. So for you to be able to participate, you've got to accept the fact that there's a certain kind of code of conduct that we have to work for as you come into this building so we can at least begin to work together. Then we're going to be able to do things that will allow them to job training, you know, computer skills, those things that Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all those things that will allow them to feel like, you know, this place gives me hope. You know, so again, you know, when you drive past and see this, you know, we want it to be a beacon of hope in the community. And so we're working toward, you know, letting people know that it's a God-ordained idea, you know, because it's a lot of work.
Right, right.
But the Lord said, based on your experiences, you know, we work with Safe Haven. So we know how to bring youth into a Safe Haven perspective and inspire them to do their best. You know, so we've got experience. You know, I teach peacemaking as a way of helping people to understand the reality of peacemaking. So we've had a real long history of working in the community, working with youth. And so now we want to try to culminate it with building this Peace Youth Center. So, you know, we're saying that this is God's idea, but we need finances to be able to do it. You know, so we're not ashamed to, you know, go philanthropic, government subsidies, whatever. because we don't have the money, but we know that, as a matter of fact, Gwen Sellers, she's the one reason why I'm here. She said we're gonna go to the Bank of Jesus Christ. So I'm not going. I'm gonna say, okay, let's do it. Because I know there's nothing too hard for him.
Nothing too hard.
Amen. Amen.
Well, like I said, that's my one hope in life is to straighten our brains out.
Yeah.
Because they're so twisted, and so
Yeah.
messed up that we stay in behind the eight ball. I'm not talking about just the people on the street who don't know any better. I've had scholars sitting right there,
Okay.
college graduates, and making good money for themselves, but they make a statement like, "Man, we got to do something about this city and state. Look how they treating us." I said, well, "What do you mean? How they treating us? What are they doing to us?
Mm-hmm.
Look how they building up the north side. They building up the north side. They ain't doing nothing for the west side." I said, "Who's building the north side? The city and the state?" I said, "No." He said, "What do you mean no?" I said, "You're building the state, the north side." "What do you mean?" I said, "If our community is making $50 billion a year, and every $1 billion creates 50,000 full employment jobs."
Right.
I said, "If we just spent half of it in our community, we would create billionaires,
Right.
and everybody in the community would. You can then hire people from outside the community because you'll have too many. You don't want to have that many people to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
So once they start making $1 million and start opening business themselves, they can start hiring people from other places.
Right.
But continue shopping in the community and continue building your community,
Right.
because the business person that's making all that money is going to help build the community back.
Right.
And things will be better for you, cheaper for you, and everything else. If you got the right, well, we got a lot of business people. I mean, I'm talking about business people who knows how to do business.
Right.
But guess what they're doing? Running white corporations. They're running white corporations
Okay.
like American Express, a black president. I can't name them all, but
Mhm.
I know there's quite a few of them.
Right.
And when a friend of mine's store, he was ready to close down and retire, he had sent his son through business school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he got MBA. He didn't get.
Okay.
Yeah, he got an MBA, Master in Business Administration. And his father said, "Okay, son," he said, "it's time for you to take over. I'm just going to retire and let
Yeah.
you take over." He said, "Take over what?" He said, "Business." "Man, I ain't running no business, no store."
Right.
He said, "I'm not running no store."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, why do you think I sent you to business school?" He said, I got a business job. He said, "I got a business job. Make $150,000 a year. That's I ain't got to be trying to chase somebody or run somebody or sell to somebody. I got a job. I'm making money."
Yeah.
So he knew he wasn't a business person, so he did what he knew best, even though he had business administration,
Right.
master's in business administration, but he also knew that he wasn't in charge. So he does what the company tell him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my duty. Here are my duties, and this is what I do. And now, as a business person, if he's running it himself, he got to figure out himself what should be done. And he knew that wasn't in his. forte.
Again, we keep looking at the spirit of Dr. Webb Evans. And I had a chance to work with Webb for about 8 years before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And he inspired us, as you mentioned, for the children. What are you doing for the children? And so one of our summer programs, we did a program where we were training youth to be black entrepreneurs. As an example, we had a contest. We were selling black manufactured toilet paper. And we gave them a chance to organize their own business and sell the toilet paper. And at the end, we gave out awards to the person that had the most successful business
Mm-hmm.
and sold the most toilet paper. But we also gave them a chance to name their own businesses. They got a certificate. I want to have a detective agency. I want to have a construction company. And they named it. They got a certificate. And I hope and pray that forever that moment will be instilled in them to recognize that, I've already owned my business. I already named my business. I am a CEO. Those are the types of things that we do. Those are the types of things that we want to do with our youth center. To really inspire our youth to recognize that, they can do great things, and they don't have to choose to do the things that would, that says, well, you got to sling drugs to make a living.
Right. And that's one thing that really messes up our community. The drug slinging, and
Yeah.
now the state has joined in on it. They want some of the money. From what I understand, they're taking up most of the money.
Well, of course, just like policy.
Right.
I mean, we would do it all right till they, decided to make it lotto. So again, as you mentioned, if it wasn't for the black man, what would they be able to do? I mean, but we have to use our ingenuity for our good, and that's the thing that we just haven't seen how to use that to benefit ourselves. So again, I'm a teacher, you're a teacher, and so I want a venue to teach. That's all I can say. The Lord is use this venue to teach, give people a chance to at least have an opportunity to get information that might influence them to modify their behavior. And we can't force them.
What we really need to do too is to pastors like yourself should come together and create an organization of pastors.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who's ordained or set to be ordained must come through your organization, because you got a lot of people who are ministers and pastors. I preached at a church once, and when I went in went into the church that morning, he said, "W.L., I was told that you're a minister."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Yeah, I went to speak on economics, He said, "You want to carry the sermon for me today?" I said, "If you want." I said, "Yeah, I'm coming as your servant, so let me know what you want me to do." He said, "You got your," he said, "Can I see your where's my memory going?"
But your certificate of ordination?
Your strip. Yes, for today.
All right.
I said, "Why would I need that?" He said, "You don't have one?" I said, "No, but don't all. I got a very fragile group here, so I don't want to confuse them. So just go ahead and speak on economics."
Okay.
I said, "No problem." Okay. So we went to sit down in the pulpit. He told me he had a fragile group, so he didn't want to get them all confused. And I saw 12 people in the audience. I said, "Yeah, it is fragile."
Well.
So he said, in about 5 minutes, the church started filling up.
Okay.
I said, "Oh, okay, that's good. The church is filling up."
Amen.
And I saw a bunch of buses in front of the building. Then I saw Virginia walk in. I can't think of Virginia's last name, but she had a faith organization
Okay.
of business people. And I saw, that's Virginia coming in. And the pastor looked at it and said, "Oh, Sister Virginia, what do we owe to pledges?" She said, "I always bring a group wherever W.L. is going to be speaking because we need to hear his message."
Praise the Lord. All right. That's a blessing.
And he said, "Oh, okay, thank you very much, sister."
Amen.
So he leaned over, "Go ahead and carry the word."
Amen.
I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yes."
Amen.
I said, "Okay." I said, "Good morning." When I got up, I said, "Good morning, church." I said, "Good morning." I said, "Yes, it is a beautiful morning because it's a morning that God created just for you.
Amen.
In fact, God so loved you that he placed his own spirit inside you to lead you and guide you wherever you want to go."
Praise the Lord.
And I said, don't get sharp now, because the devil is also present."
Mm-hmm.
I said, the devil is that selfish part of you that would have you do things that you know you should not be doing.
Amen.
And all of a sudden I felt checking on my coach. I said, "Well, he asked me to preach, so I'm going to do my thing, let him reject his way."
Right.
So then I said, then I switched to other scriptures in the Bible. Then I went into economics, and when I was done, preacher jumped up and said, I really appreciate Reverend Lillard's message. And he said, I hope you got the message, but I don't want you to leave here thinking you got a God now. You ain't got no God inside you. You ain't got no God. You won't see God until you get the Holy Man.
Man, wow.
I'm looking at, I said, where did he get that from? He's a pastor.
Yeah.
So, that's what we got in the ministry, a lot of that. So we got to get rid of some of that.
Yeah.
People that don't know any better, they tell what they've heard, what they've heard from other folks who don't know any better. They keep passing the word. Don't pass it if you don't know it.
Well, that's one thing I tell my parishioners, read the Bible for yourself.
Right.
Read the word for yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that this is in the word and it's not there.
And
you can open it up for yourself.
Listen to this. Everywhere I went, like she said, she bring those business people, and they would drop in the basket for me, $50, $100, nothing under 20.
Mm-hmm.
And they always 40, 50 people or more. And I would give it to the church that I didn't come there for that. I give it to the church that I was
Praise the Lord.
preaching at, trying to tell the people this is what we got to do. We got to share.
Right.
Okay. So this time, he told the people go down to the door and make a collection for the speaker. He did a very good job. They went down by the door. 2 guys. They came back with big buckets full of money. And I said, all this Virginia stuff, so she got a big buck coming today. And he told me to come on into the office when he was done. When he was done, coming into his office.
Okay.
When I was done talking to the people, because they were all asking me questions, and I explained it to them what we were talking about. And when I was done, I started in the back. He met me at the door and gave me an envelope about that thick.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna keep this for the first time.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep this to see what it is.
Okay.
Man, I thought you said you were gonna preach the gospel. I said, what do you think I was preaching? You said you told the people that God was inside of them. Wasn't no God. I said, you didn't hear me say there was no God? I said, we wouldn't be able to function without the presence of God and the God within us. No, God ain't within you. God is in heaven. I said, my goodness. I said, okay, I don't want to argue with you about that, Pastor. I said, just read the book.
Right.
See, right here where it said, know ye not that you are God, and God's spirit shall dwell within you? I don't know about those stuff like that. I said, well, look at the Bible. They got a Bible right there. Look at it. He said, man, anyway, I left.
Yeah.
Went out and opened the thing up, it had a $20 bill in it.
Well, I mean, again, that's the consciousness of that particular person. And, for me, I try to just present what the Lord had me to present. And if people accept it, fine. If they don't, just the Lord says, do not allow any person's reaction stop you from doing what I tell you to do. And so, I'm at that point, whatever happens, I'm feeling okay because I'm listening. I'm hearing from the Lord, and I know that I'm connected because I have an attitude of service. Like right now, as I was talking to Brother Tony, we're not doing this to line our pockets. We're doing this to serve our youth and our families in the inner world.
Absolutely.
And so I know God is a part of that. So, and there will be some doubters, some this and that, but that won't deter us because, we're trying to doing the work of the Lord.
Do the right thing, right?
Okay.
And if we could somehow find a way to capture their brains, we would take over this whole country because we are the majority of this country.
Amen.
And we sit around and let folks tell us that you're the minority. You're the minority of your city. Chicago has been majority black for the last 40, 50 years or more. And it's very easy to look at the fact that, look at our neighborhoods. We have quite a few blacks living in white neighborhoods. We don't have too many whites living in blacks neighborhoods, although you have a few, but not as many as blacks living in white neighborhoods. So it's a thing of we just follow what we were told and what we were indoctrinated into. Oh no, we're not majority. Man, they told me that 80,000 people were displaced from the housing projects and sent out to the south and west suburbs.
Mhm.
I said, okay, first off, if you think there were only 80,000 people in those projects, you're a fool.
Right.
Okay? And and believe me, they did not all go to the south suburbs or the west suburbs. They're
Right.
in the city of Chicago with relatives right
Right.
now. They can't register to vote. I mean, they could register to vote, but they're afraid to register to vote because they're not uh, in their apartment. They're living with their cousin. Their cousin tells me, I gotta hide you from the landlord because I'll have to pay more rent. Especially while they were in the project, they could not be known, period. You know, because they had certain rules. You can't, you got a 3-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment, and you got the people to cover those rooms, that's all you have. Now if they find out 3 or 4 other people were there, a family of 4 or 5 other people was in that house, they would kick them out.
Well, for you, because I'm hearing you, and I want to stop and thank you for your years of service, being on the battlefield. As I mentioned, I've been on your programs before years ago. I don't know you remember Georgia Chisum, Royal Mother
Yeah.
Queen Georgia.
Yeah.
That's my mother. And
Oh,
she put us together, as a matter of fact.
right.
Yeah, and she loved you to life. She used to look at your program every time it was on. And she said, I want you to go on WO's program. So it's years ago. And so she hooked it up, And so, but again, the work you're doing, the Lord wants me to tell you, be not weary in well doing.
Right.
Just whatever He gives you to do, do it and be all right with doing that task. The sad part about it is, just like Jesus, they might not respond to the truth, but that doesn't stop us from presenting them.
Presenting it to them, you give them an opportunity to
Amen.
respond to
Amen.
it.
That's we're required to do that. So again, I thank you for letting me come by. I want to do this one more time to, let the world know this is the first time.
Oh, okay. You got a good shot there.
Yeah, first time that we've really put this, out into the world, that this is the Inglewood Peace Youth and Community Center, that we've got all the architectural drawings and designs, and now we're just going into a major fundraising project to, get this done to serve God and His people. I thank you for the opportunity to present it to your audience.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You got to come back more often because, we need pastors to come and talk to the people from time to time.
Yeah.
Like the people who are watching this program probably doesn't watch church on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they go to sleep on Sunday because they're dead from Saturday night.
Yeah.
So
Hey, been there, done that, but through the grace of God, He showed me a better way.
you got out of it, right?
Amen.
Right.
Amen. So, well, yeah, we're excited about sharing the Word of God with God's people, and anytime we get a chance, to encourage, because it's a word of encouragement. The thing that really kind of does me and WL is how so many people spend their whole day, the whole week, without any word of encouragement. They haven't opened up the Bible. They have not listened to any gospel music. Just listening to some spiritual music can uplift you. There are ways to, get what you need that can be a blessing to you, So we're just encouraging people, try to get some more of the Lord in you. Last year our theme was becoming more like Jesus each day. And so we were studying Jesus and trying to act like Jesus, walk like Jesus, talk like Jesus, react like Jesus in such a way that we know that that's a better me by doing that. Amen.
Okay, we're going to take a little break to allow you to see some of our sponsors and support them.
Amen.
Good. We'll be right back.
Praise the Lord. Bless you.
So what's it like working with your family? Good question.
Right, great question. Original Soul Vegetarian was established over 38 years ago from our parents, so we're second generation owners.
Back then in the 80s, nobody knew what vegan looked like.
But if you say, oh, this is barbecue, they'll eat it and say, oh, it's good.
Original Soul Vegetarian has been an anchor in this community. At least 90% of our clientele aren't vegans.
It has helped the community a lot with being aware of healthy eating and healthier options.
Most of everything that we sell is sourced locally, and it's all made in-house because it's just not about food for us. Your health is your wealth. Just add something healthy to what you're eating. You're gonna feel better.
Why? Why?
Why are you following me?
Why my hoodie make me look suspicious?
Why does my music make me dangerous?
Why are people that are supposed to protect me attacking me?
Why are you afraid of me? Why do you think I'm dangerous?
Why do I afraid of people who are supposed to protect me?
Why can't I make a peace sign without you labeling a gang sign?
Why does standing your ground only work when I'm on the ground?
Why do you show this photo over this one?
Why do you only stop and frisk me?
Why do you have low expectations for me?
Why can't I run down the street without causing alarms?
Why do you think I'm a thug?
Why do you assume I'm armed?
Why can I breathe?
Why is my mom scared every time I leave the house?
Why are you targeting me?
Why am I a target?
Why?
Why? Why? I know why.
And it has to stop.
It must stop.
Because I have dreams.
Because I can change the world.
Because I will make a difference.
Because I have a family.
Because I am strong.
Because I'm talented.
I have a voice.
I can find a cure.
I have goals.
I can lead the country.
I am determined.
I have a future.
Because I'm a scholar.
I am powerful.
I'm someone's friend.
I'm someone's brother.
I'm someone's son.
Someone loves me.
And because my life matters too.
My life matters.
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 All lives matter.
And so did theirs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
World.
Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your pet shop. We're back, and we're with Pastor St. John, and Pastor St. John is going to give us a whole spiel about what we should be doing now and how we should be doing it until closing time. Go right ahead.
Well, WLI, again, I'm blessed to be with you. Again, I want to honor you for the work you've done in our community. And it's basically around giving our people the truth. The Bible says you should know the truth and it'll make you free. That also means that sometimes kicking and screaming, behavior modification requires us sometimes to be able to hear that truth over and over again before it settles in. And so for me, my ministry is about lifting up Jesus as the way to do things the right way. Mm-hmm. And so we don't just, superficially, talk about Jesus when he's doing what we want him to do. We talk about when he says, you got to love your neighbor as yourself. You got to be able to even turn the other cheek. I mean, those are things that, qualities of Jesus that will allow us to address our issues as human beings in a loving way.
Right.
We just did Dr. King. We have an annual brunch and community workshop. And one of the questions was, at this point, this is a birthday celebration. What gift are you going to give Dr. King for his birthday? And it had to be around service. Jesus said, I came not to be served, but to serve. Dr. King said, everybody can be great if they serve. And so somehow or another, we've got to see ourselves, working with each other, helping one another, getting this anger, these profane words. I mean, these are things that is basic, but our community is got caught up in those things as being normal. I consider them abnormal. So for me, I don't look at abnormal behavior and say, let me give you an example. We call our children kids. Kid is a baby goat. Children, boys and girls. I mean, if I call you a kid, then I'm not endearing myself to you as a human being. And society has said we call them kids. And so from our teachings, we just want to teach, what will benefit us. And if society is one way and Jesus another way, I'm going with Jesus. I'm not going to be ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so right now through here, I want us to, next month in our church, we'll be promoting divine love. And we're going to try to find ways to teach love, to have a love reaction, a love word, a love thought, because we feel, as the Bible says, it's the greatest of all things. Faith, hope, charity, love. It's the greatest of all things. So right now, WL, I'm appealing to my people to see how we can love one another. Black on black love versus hate and confusion and anger. And so again, as we close out, this is what we're going to be teaching at this center. It's a community, Inglewood, which sees a lot of negativity, but there's a lot of good in Inglewood. Inglewood Peace Community and Youth Center. We'll bring in mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and talk about how do we value life versus looking at it as something that you can snuff out, at the tip of a moment.
I agree with your premise, but don't you think it's a little dangerous? It's become confusing.
What part of
it? The kid comment.
Yeah.
Because the average, kid is what they read in the book, in the dictionary.
Well,
teachers taught read the dictionary.
Yeah, but the first definition, kid, was a baby goat. And then since we as human beings decided to call our children kids, now you might see it there. But Jesus says, suffer the little children, not the little kids, to come into me and forbid them not. Such is the kingdom of heaven. So again, I have no problem with whatever people are doing. but I follow Jesus. He didn't say suffer the little kids. He said suffer the little children to come unto me. And so as I relate to Jesus, I would rather call them children than call them kids. I mean, just saying, this is my spirit.
Right. I'm just saying, it's if we make it like my friend, she makes a big thing of it. She makes a big thing of it, and it becomes confusing. Because first off, it says, you're right, absolutely. It says a baby goat, and it also says small children, my kid sister, my kid brother, and they name all those things in there, and they were taught that in school.
Yeah.
So then now they get confused. What am I? Am I a goat?
Well, I want to be endearing, and so I want a child to hear me call them a child versus a kid, and that's all. That's for me. As you know, Mama D loves. She gave that to me. She's the one that put that in my spirit,
and
I accepted it.
She and I don't have a decent conversation like you and I. But now we have an argument sitting here.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's Mama D. So, but
she's my friend.
We love her to life.
Yes.
And again, we can talk about those great souls in Chicago, but she's one that's on the battlefield, day and night for the same type of principles of righteousness and self-pride and worth, even though she don't like the word pride, but she says that's bad, but she wants us to feel good about ourselves.
Right.
So I support her wherever I can.
Well, she she's a friend, a good friend. I can't say anything but a good friend. So we make a good show by sitting here arguing about that.
Okay, yeah.
It's just, we do that purposely. She and I do. Or she would say that. She'd look at me and wonder, when am I going to say kid? I said, did I go ahead and say kid something? And she, yeah, I told you about calling her.
Right.
And we get into a big argument about it. And I just take it for fun, she and I, you know where I first met her? There were a furniture store at 87th Cottage.
Okay.
And I was doing advertising for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we were on Channel 25.
Okay.
And I took the camera into the store. They allowed us to come in and tape the products and whatnot, and do a whole show there, and take a part of the show and cut it out and make it commercial for the store. And Mama D walked in and she said, "That's my favorite talk show right there." Well, it's actually my mama's favorite talk show, so I got to watch it every day. I got to watch it every day too. And she said, "Is this for sale?" And this all this stuff here is for sale.
Right.
She said, "They said, yes, ma'am, it's for sale." She said, "Okay. Well, if you don't have any more, in fact, I don't want any more. I want this."
Okay.
I'm gonna give this to my mom. Because this is my mom's favorite show.
Praise the Lord.
And she bought all that furniture that we were sitting on for her mother.
Praise the Lord.
That's how we met each other. Been friends ever since.
Well, I just want to bless my mother, Georgia Chisum. She's the one that watching your show and enjoying it and being, educated by it, and also catching your spirit. She's saying, "John, you need to talk to WL." I mean, that's the kind of mother I had.
Yeah.
And through that, that's how it happened.
Well, too bad we're out of town.
Yeah.
And we got to have this again.
Praise the Lord.
Brother Chisum. We
I'd
got
be
to
honored.
have it. And ladies and gentlemen, I hate to leave you at this time, but the time is up. And unless you got some money to throw on the table, good night. We'll see you this time again tomorrow.